迎来到全球锂业高层访谈的第二集。这集我们邀请到的是 Galan 锂业的 CEO JP， 和我们聊一聊他在阿根廷的项目。
Hi, Lily. Thanks for the invite. I'm delighted to be interviewed by you. And yes, my name is JP Vargas de la Vega. I've got a very long name. I'm the managing director of Galan Lithium Limited. We are an Australian listed company, and we have three projects, but in two locations. One that is the most advanced of them all in Argentina, and one early greenfields project in Western Australia, south of Perth. I'm also the founder of the company. I founded the company privately in 2017, and in 2018 we listed into the Australian Stock Exchange, and then brand Galan, and it's been a very good and interesting story of what we have been able to achieve in a bit longer than 3 years. So it's been exciting times on just an idea that I had not long ago, and now it's something that I would say that's very special, because we are in a very special part of Argentina, and I will happy to explain further what it's all about.
So tell me more about your project in Argentina, JP.
Well, we have two projects that we advance in Argentina. One of them is called Hombre Muerto West, that has a resource of 2.3 million tons of lithium carbonate equivalent. And the second one is called Candelas, that's got 700,000 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent. In both of them at the salt flat of Hombre Muerto, as described early on with our neighbors. Candelas, neighbors Galaxy, and Hombre Muerto West, it borders Livent. We have taken the Hombre Muerto West into a scoping study / PEA last year. We did that with Worley, with the office in Chile. So we took a very strong engineering group to do this study. And we came out with a study indicating that we could produce 20,000 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent for 40 years, and also with a pre-tax NPV of $1 billion. Bear in mind, the study was done at a price level of $11,500 for lithium carbonate price, when today the spot price is around $13,000. So we have a very robust project. And also, what we have done ever since is, since in December last year, we released this, we have taken the brine from the project, we have modeled it, we have indicated that it can get to high level of concentrations to 6%, which could potentially be sold to third parties in Argentina, or take this 6% lithium concentrate brine and put into a plant to produce lithium carbonate battery grade. So we have something importantly interesting here, because it's flexible. Either we can sell concentrate like it's done in Australia, but this is in the brine form, or we could still get to produce lithium carbonate battery grade down the track. One of the things that we also done is we identified that the area that we have at Hombre Muerto West could host up to 25,000 tons of capacity for evaporation ponds. We also know that on the other end of the ridge of where we are located, we have more spare capacity to put more ponds if needed. And this is interesting, because now what we have and what indicated is that we purchased a new area within Hombre Muerto West, and we're going to be doing more geological studies, geophysics, and eventually we'll be drilling it. And that could increase this resource size of 2.3 million tons that we have in ground to solidify and robust our resource. On the other end of the salt flat and neighboring Galaxy, we have our second project, and that's called Candelas, as mentioned. And Candelas, we announced last week that we are starting our scoping study. So this is going to be done in-house, taking from all the learnings that we've done from last year until now from Hombre Muerto West. And the modeling that we've done so far indicates that our brine can also concentrate to levels of potentially 6% lithium in the concentrate. So this is very interesting. And we're going to be doing this study, and we expect to finalize our scoping study by Q4 this year. So by the end of the year, we should have the results. And and this is exciting because we not only have one potential producer in front, we may have two.
Yeah.
And this will make something of Galan something very interesting, different, and we can grow.
Large lithium resource company.
It's all going to be confirmed once we finalize the study, but definitely we can think beyond the 20,000 tons, looking into the future. And this is something very special for us. You know, and also in terms of our cash position, this is important. We have enough money to do the study. We have enough money to go and do the drilling that we said we'll do. So we don't have to go back to market. We have a cash position of around $15 million Australian, so 15. Plus we have another $5 million of options that are all in the market that can be converted. And that's another $5 million to finance further work. So Galan, for the next year and a half, has got a lot of news to tell the market, and he has something very compelling, and we'll be updating the market and telling what all our findings are. So watch this space. It's going to give some news.
Very look forward to hear more lithium carbonate from your company. Give us an introduction of Argentina's mining jurisdictions.
Yep. Look, Argentina, we have a project in the Catamarca province. Argentina is a federal country that in which each province is responsible for providing or giving the mining tenements to their own within their own province. So that's not part of the state; it falls into the province. So we are in the Catamarca province. Mining rights to explore have been granted by the Catamarca Authority. We are located at the Hombre Muerto salt flat, and this is a very important part of the world at the lithium triangle.
Yes.
And we are in Argentina at the end. Because if you look who our neighbors are, it will give you a flavor of how important this region in Argentina is, as well in the lithium world. Hombre Muerto is the house or host the Livent Corporation. Yeah. Livent has been producing lithium carbonate and hydroxide for a long time, and they've been in operation for close to 28 years or maybe more. They started the lithium revolution. The first batteries that came out to the market, they were fed with lithium from Hombre Muerto, from Argentina, from Livent.
Yeah.
So those were the Sony handycams, the cameras back then. Then fast track into the 2000s, and the lithium from Hombre Muerto has been used into Tesla vehicles. And how does it goes? Livent sells part of the production to Panasonic, and Panasonic in Japan takes that and convert them into lithium-ion batteries. So, and Panasonics are very well known for the quality, and Tesla is known for the quality because they want first quality in everything. So what it shows that our project could deliver high quality lithium as well. Right. So this is a conclusion that it can be taken. There are a lot of steps to get there, and we are in the early steps of development. We are under study. And also we'd like to highlight that our other neighbors in the same salt flat are POSCO, the Korean industrial company. Yeah. And the POSCO is very interesting because they're not miners. Yeah. They are an industrial company, and they have integrated all the way back to produce their own lithium. And they go into Argentina. They bought the northern tenement from Galaxy Resources in 2019 for $280 million. Yeah. And they have a large resource in the area. And interesting, the thesis that they want to have their own control over their own resources. Mm-hmm. And they went and they are developing the project under their own technology. It's a bit of a black box, but if you go there, they're quite busy. They're sinking the money, and they believe that they can do it. And lastly, as mentioned, we have Galaxy Resources, and Galaxy Resources had been on the news as well because they are they are proposed to merge with Orocobre, which is another Australian listed company that has been producing lithium in Argentina for a little while now. So the combination of, or the marriage of these two companies Orocobre and Galaxy made them a significant, one of the top 5 lithium producers in the world. So this is, when you look at the caliber of the companies that are there and what they want to do, and then you compare it to us that has started 3.5 years ago, it shows that this company has a very strong future.
Yes.
And in terms of the jurisdiction in Catamarca, in Argentina specifically, as you were asking, these companies have no problems operating in the area. They, they're public listed companies, except for POSCO is the Hombre Muerto, maybe not necessarily something they have to disclose in terms of news. But if you look at Galaxy and you look at Livent, they are obliged to inform the market if there are any issues with the government. And on the contrary, what you've seen lately is Galaxy committing, this was on the local Argentine news from Catamarca, they're committed to invest a startup of $150 million to start developing the Sal de Vida project at the Hombre Muerto salt flat in Argentina. So that shows the commitment and the strength of the lithium market today in Argentina and in Catamarca. I'm not seeing any issues from my end as well, and that it could be a problem in the jurisdiction to do things in Argentina. So the investment is being welcome. You've seen also news from other companies and developing their own projects, and also there's been on the news last week an acquisition from a Chinese company. So there's been a lot of things happening in Argentina, and if these things are happening, it's because the general jurisdiction in northwest Argentina, where we are located, it seems to be okay.
Right, great. Supply and demand. The my forecast for global LCA demand by 2030 will be 2.5 million tons per annum for demand. Supply will be about 2 million tons per annum. So the short will mainly rely on the supply of lithium hydroxide. With the EU's new policies of Fit for 55 announced on 14 July, so the demand for lithium hydroxide from EU only by 2030 would be 1 million tons per annum. So the whole, while the local self-supply at the maximum would only be 180,000 tons per annum. So this would also apply to North America. By 2030, our estimates of North America's lithium hydroxide supply would be 180,000 tons per annum, while demand would about 350,000 tons per annum. So with the lithium hydroxide supply in great shortage, do you think that South American miners or converters would change your original plans from building up a lithium carbonate facility to a hydroxide facility?
Well, look, it's the market is evolving quite quickly, and early this year we saw a push, and I still think it is there for even LFP batteries. So there was a strong push for lithium carbonate battery grade to be able to supply that demand for LFP. Yeah. And when you look at the city car, the everyday car, it doesn't need a long range battery, which LFP can easily solve, and it has less issue in terms of safety. You know, it doesn't catch fire. It has its benefit, but it can't pack as much energy, and the density is not as much as a lithium-ion batteries that requires the hydroxide, as mentioned. What's going to happen in South America? I reckon that by 2030 the market will adjust accordingly to what it really needs. But also you need to take into consideration what's next. And if I look today, yes, South America produces a lot of lithium carbonate. That's end product, and that's what has been highlighted. And I agree with you. That's a favorite product to come from the lithium evaporation. Lithium hydroxide adds another complexity and needs to be shipped and sent somewhere else to be processed. Hard rock it gets directly as concentrate sent to China and processed into. It gets roasted, acidified, and then it gets converted into lithium hydroxide. So it's a sort of natural step to get into hydroxide. But the question is, are we really going to be in the battery sector producing LFP batteries and lithium ion batteries in the next 5 to 10 years. And then when I look what's next in terms of technology, I would like to think that the next step in batteries could be solid state batteries that use lithium metal batteries. So then how do I get to lithium metal? Then chemically, you could potentially get from brine to metal. I mean, it's a very complex step. It's not that straightforward, and the technology is not massified. But if you look into the future, into the next 5-10 years, could it be the technology massified to being produced in a high level of lithium metals? And potentially the answer is yes. Are we going to be requiring lithium hydroxide carbonate in the same intensity that we need today by 2030? Maybe not. Are we going to require as much lithium as we think we need? And I'll say I agree with your forecast. The lithium will be required. And guess what? If we go into lithium metal, the amount of lithium required, it's still the density is still there. It still will be required. So it won't be less. And actually, most of people will generally, when you are offered something, the alternative of, would you like more for the same price? People say yes. And in a way, these batteries or future batteries for solid state batteries could answer that, meaning that the demand for lithium could be even increased. That 2.5 million tons of lithium carbonate consumption per year could be even higher, because you can pack more and have a longer range into all cars, batteries, and anything else. Hence, you need to put more lithium. So this is a very, from our point of view, an early stage in terms of how the market is changing and being seen and has been transformed, and how the market is adapting this new technology. It could adapt this technology in other areas that have not been foreseen, and it still will demand more lithium. So is there a lithium, are we in a hot market for lithium? Yes. Do we need more lithium? The answer is yes. Do we need to find more sources and that are commercially viable? The answer is still yes. Yeah. So I think that we're seeing a change that hasn't been seen in 100 years, meaning going from the horses to the internal combustion engine. Yeah. And now the internal combustion engine is going to be retired and replaced by electric engines. Yeah. And this is going to be a big change. And it will be adapted quickly. It could take 10, 15 years and it'll be done.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you very much for your time, JP.